Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to our webinar about the dawn of hydrogen economy, recent developments and activities. It's a great pleasure for me that you are here, and it's a great pleasure for me that now I have switched off also the micro from the other micro so that I don't listen to my voice twice. So thanks a lot for being here, and on behalf of GIZ in Tunisia, on behalf of the Green Hydrogen Association, as well as Hamburg University of Technology and the VDI here in Germany, I would welcome you to our webinar tonight, where we have two, let's say, quite interesting country reports. On one hand side, we will have the chance to listen to Rebecca Hills-Dibici. Hopefully I pronounced it in the right way. She will give us an update about the hydrogen activities in Algeria, which I'm very much looking forward, because as I understood, they founded a new ministry dealing with the energy transition. And then we will have a presentation from Professor Ahmed Al-Salaimi. He's a professor at University of Jordan in Amman, and here in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and he will give us an update about the hydrogen activities in Jordan. So from that point of view, I think we have two interesting countries. We have two interesting reports about the ongoing activities. And based on this, we will then have next week even more the picture from the Middle East area, because there we will have an, let's say, country report from Egypt, from a colleague from University of Al-Shams in Cairo. Then we will have a presentation from Morocco, which originally planned today, but it has to be postponed because the person who giving the talk has to go to hospital with his daughter. So unfortunately, it is not possible to have this week. And then we have a country report from Chile, because there's a lot of activities ongoing, and a country report from South Africa. So from that point of view, also next week, you will get an even broader picture about the ongoing activities. And last but not least, next week, we also have a short wrap up about the PDL hub from GIZ, which is more on overarching activities in different countries. This is what we can expect today and next week, same place, same time. And with next week's last webinar, we also closed then this webinar session for, let's say, this winter term. So this has been the preliminaries, and now let's start. It's a great pleasure to introduce Rebecca Hills. Yeah, I just come to Rebecca Hills. This is more easy for me to pronounce. She will give us an update about the situation in Algeria. So Rebecca, the floor is yours, and we are very much interested in your presentation.
Many thanks, Professor Karl-Schmidt-Martin, for your warm introduction. I hope connection will stay smooth and you're able to hear and follow me well. Can you confirm just quickly, Professor Karl-Schmidt?
Yes, we can see the full screen, and we can listen to your lovely voice without any problem.
Thank you very much. So it's a pleasure to be with you tonight in this very interesting webinar series. My name is Rebecca Hills-Dibici. I'm a program director for the project Technology and Socioeconomic Development for Renewable Energies and Green Hydrogen in Algeria at the German International Cooperation, the Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit. So as you might notice, I am given a point of view of a technical cooperation body. Actually, we are supporting development of green hydrogen together with our Algerian partners in Nigeria. So this is not an official or a public Algerian point of view, but really a cooperation point of view, as we see a development of green hydrogen that is speeding up quite substantially in Algeria in recent months. So let me give you a quick idea about the green hydrogen production potential in Algeria on the 2030 horizon. You can see here on the left-hand side, we have a very interesting green hydrogen production potential from PV electricity, with a production potential that has been estimated as high as 6,650 million tons per annum from solar. And on the right-hand side, you see a map of green hydrogen potential from onshore wind electricity, where the estimation goes up to 1,000 million tons per annum from only wind green hydrogen production from only exclusively wind electricity. These maps and this potential has actually been estimated through a potential study that Algeria that the GIZ has been carrying out together with the Tractebel consultants in 2021. So it goes back to 2021 on behalf of BMWK and its Algerian partners. So now we see the hydrogen production potential. This is a preliminary estimation that must go more into detail and be confirmed, and which brings me to some of our cooperation activities that I will show to you, expose to you later on in this presentation. But let's not talk only about production potential, but also about prices. We also have been developing these two maps that you might see. Algeria is quite big. So these two maps show you the prices on the left-hand side. Once more, green hydrogen production costs from PV, photovoltaic electricity, where the estimation, including transport, are as low in this yellow part, as you can see, as $4.35 a kilogram on a 2030 horizon. And this is the most interesting area for production, actually, if you're talking about potential in terms of prices, but you also see that the other areas, those in much more of a green color, that also can lead to interesting prices of around $5.50 a kilogram. Now, on the right side, you see also the production potential in terms of prices from exclusively onshore wind electricity. There again, much lower prices with 2.65 in the most interesting areas in yellow, again in the middle, in the center of Algeria, that vary considerably. You see also that the wind potential is relatively smaller compared to the solar potential, but prices are definitely very interesting. So this few words about the production potential. Now, the very interesting development actually is that based on this potential, state of potential that has been identified, the Algerian government has been working on a strategy for development of hydrogen in Algeria. Let's have a look at advantages that have been identified by us within our cooperation, but also by the Algerian government actors. Actually, they have been founding a committee that is bringing together different state and private actors in green hydrogen. And that have been working on this, identifying the main advantages, challenges, and finding a strategic answer to that over the last few months. So the main advantages may be described as follows. We have a very important RE potential. Algeria is a huge country where you do have no constraint or very few constraints and usage competition between different usages for just for the space where you would like to implant solar or wind parks. Then there is an interesting energy infrastructure based on hydrocarbons. Algeria is a major natural gas exporting country with 2 pipelines leading to Spain and to Italy. So in terms of transport of gas, there's quite some experience and an existing infrastructure. Experience is leading me to the trained human resources. Algeria has quite a pool of trained engineers in hydrocarbons, in energy, that can be trained relatively easily in order to support the development of a green hydrogen sector or economy. Then last but not least, mineral resources that are quite interesting in Algeria. The Algerian state is starting to really source these. That has not been done over quite some years. An industrial tissue that is, on the one hand side, interesting investors in a new sector as green hydrogen, and also a potential user of green hydrogen produced in Algeria. We here can think about an interesting ammonia production, methanol production. Fertilizers are being produced and also exported. Same is true for glass in Algeria, especially for international markets. Who says advantages has also to have a look on the main challenges. What are the main challenges for Algerian development of a green hydrogen production and sector? On the one hand side, one must really look at the nowadays electricity production in Algeria, which is actually based on 98% on thermal power plants, especially natural gas that is being transformed over a combined cycle into electricity, and only 2% of renewables on the grid. So there is way to go for the decarbonization of the energy and the electricity production, and some experience also to be gathered. And as green electricity is one of the main entrants for green hydrogen, this is basically an important challenge that Algeria will have to tackle. Then the point of export, infrastructure is existing, but there are quite some question marks still existing concerning the existing infrastructure is blending with the existing pipeline system. Feasible? Is it interesting? Is it economically viable, or are other technologies to be used? The development of an efficient industrial tissue that is really targeting this new sector. Here you can also have a look at traditional branches, traditional industries and service providers for hydrocarbons are existing in Algeria. Will they be able, or will they be willing to develop new commercial models, new branches, and invest also in this new sector? Then the question of funds. Sure, who says green hydrogen says big investments if we're talking about export. If we're talking about export, about an industrial production. This is basically the target of the Algerian partners. Then this requires important investments, funds, and financing and maybe international financing also, which is quite a challenge, as Algeria is for the time being not accepting international lending. So here's a point to address. And then the question also of technological mastery. Technology in green hydrogen is now advancing really quick, and yeah, there's quite for the time being. Now, apart from this challenge, objectives for Algeria in and with green hydrogen, I'm saying here green hydrogen, but basically the Algerian government has 2 weeks ago. So door is opened. Is open also for blue hydrogen. Both are mentioned, green and blue hydrogen. This said, most partners underline that the green hydrogen is a more interesting option in terms of in economic terms and in terms of decarbonization. Also in terms of technological mastery, because the carbon capture and storage is also a technology that will have to master, and where Algeria has gathered very few experience for the moment that were not really easy. So in the blue hydrogen, the question of the carbon capture and storage poses a big question, and economically speaking also there is quite a consensus that green hydrogen is most probably the more interesting way to go. So the Algerian hydrogen strategy names 5 objectives, strategic objectives for Algeria in and with green hydrogen. The diversification of the energy mix, which is highly undiversified, as I've been explaining a bit over the last few minutes. The reduction of local hydrocarbon consumption. Here we're also having a look at local consumption of green hydrogen. One must say that this is rather a long-term objective, as nowadays energy prices for local consumers in Algeria are quite low, and therefore green hydrogen will most probably from today's point of view not be cost competitive. The establishment of a suitable ecosystem for the development of clean hydrogen. This is an interesting goal, let's say. Here it addresses especially the aspect of an economic development over building and development of new companies, of new business models for existing companies in order to have plumage in a flourishing sector. Then the 4th objective is technological mastery of the hydrogen value chain. As we've been discussing before, it's not the case yet, but the Algerian partners do have the objective and the ambition to gain in competence to really master the technology of hydrogen and of green hydrogen production, transport, and storage as quick as possible. There are also quite some research and development institution participating into this dynamics and contributing to the activities in the sector. And then 5th strategic objective is the creation of a hub for the production and export of hydrogen. The ambition is to establish a hub, a point for the export of important amounts of hydrogen to the region, to Europe and any other interesting markets. Now, main focuses of the Algerian hydrogen development roadmap. Government has also, the committee in charge of development of green hydrogen in Algeria has also developed a roadmap in order to operationalize the strategy. This focuses on the development of a regulatory and normative framework, on research, innovation and training, on financing mechanisms. As I had underlined, financing and funding is also a question, really, a challenge to be tackled. Third point, the roadmap of hydrogen production, transport, is also a question of transport of not only hydrogen but also of green electricity and to a green hydrogen production site. I think it might be interesting to mention that, as you have seen, the most interesting potential zones, or the most interesting potential in terms of electricity generation from renewables is in the Algerian south, whereas the water supply from seawater desalination for green hydrogen will be in the north. The question is the water to be transported to the south, where electricity production from renewables is high, or is the electricity from the Algerian south to be transported to the north for hydrogen production? So here's an interesting or an important optimization to be done. This is what is meant with this term hydrogen integration electricity market. Fifth focus of the hydrogen development roadmap is the development of an industrial component, meaning the development of products and services in the value chain, in the green hydrogen value chain, in order to assure a certain local content and a certain local development by the development of this new sector. Sixth, last but not least, the focus on cooperation, international cooperation, and feasibility studies that are to support and to bring in also international experience into this new sector development. The strategy roadmap is also announcing quite clear timing and different phases of the development of a local green hydrogen sector. The ambition is to develop green and eventual blue hydrogen pilot projects until 2030, to transition from pilot projects to industrial projects between 2030 and 2040, and to have green or blue hydrogen deployment phase developing between 2040 and 2050, that will englobe the export of green hydrogen, as well as the local use, for example, as a flexibility tool, as a fuel for local electricity production. Now, the first phase in 2030 is concentrating on pilot projects. Let's say it's quite a having a look at the dynamics that are in markets, in hydrogen markets now developing. This roadmap, or this timing of the roadmap, doesn't seem very ambitious. In the same time, it has also been underlined by Algerian partners that this might be speeded up if markets develop as quick as they, for the time being, they fear being quick into big investment projects, not knowing where are long-time off-takers and clients, and how substantial and which volumes will be bought and traded on international markets. So now, having a closer look at the 3 pilot projects that have been announced on a 2030 horizon, there is one which is somehow inspired by the German Reallabore. It's foreseen to have an experimental pipeline loop for blending natural gas and hydrogen in the Hasirmel center, South Algeria, in the separation units and storage in salt caverns, in order to test especially the blending and the transport in local pipelines that are nowadays used for transport and export of natural gas. Then a second project on solar energy storage for isolated sites of Sonatrach, which is the local oil and gas company, also in the Algerian south. Here it is interesting to see that this local oil and gas company is doing quite an effort to decarbonize their own electricity or energy consumption, so that it cannot solarize at 100%, but they would like to substantially address or increase the use of renewable energies, and therefore also try if green hydrogen might there be an option. And third pilot projects will be about, or will focus on the production of green ammonia or methanol in the Azu, Annaba, and Soukahras regions, which are in the Algerian north, and which are already, which are areas where already industries are implanted that do produce ammonia and methanol nowadays from fossil energy vectors, especially natural gas. An idea about the project size, now it's the idea nowadays is to have them quite small, from 2 to 10 megawatt, in partnership with local and international partners and pioneer companies. And from this, I would like just to give you an idea about how we as GIZ do support these local developments. We are supporting from last year, since December last year, and for a duration of 3 years, our partners, political partners, the Ministry of Energy and Mines, to implement this project on behalf of the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, and it's called Technology and Socio-Economic Development for Renewable Energies and Green Hydrogen, targeting an increased use of RE and green hydrogen for sustainable economic development. I will not talk about the renewable energy parts, even if this is really very important to not only talk about green hydrogen, but to talk about renewable energies and green hydrogen together. But let me focus for today on green hydrogen. We do support our partners on the one hand side in their development of the green hydrogen export sector, and also to explore domestic appliances. The focus is especially on green hydrogen for export, where we are supporting the development of a strategy and regulatory framework, especially a regulatory framework is not existing yet. We have foreseen further potential studies, including different PTX products, Power-to-X products that we have not had a look and partners have not examined in detail yet. We're planning to elaborate a green hydrogen atlas, as well as market studies, to support technically speaking and technologically speaking local companies and the local green hydrogen sector, and support the development of commercial and financing models for export projects. Now, domestic appliances, as I have already mentioned, there the scope of work is a little bit more limited, as for the time being there seems to be no economically viable, or few economically viable domestic appliances. So we'll have a closer look into that. For example, use of green hydrogen industries, especially there where decarbonization is being demanded or is being asked for, is being imposed also by international markets, especially in glass production and fertilizer production. Then we support value chain development and local content development, so supporting companies that would like to develop new services, new products, new applications for this new sector. Platform and trainings, as we see that there is not yet enough local workforce and not enough information about green hydrogen available in Algeria, and will also support the cooperation with German and European academia and research. So on this, I would like to end my production. There still any questions, and thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, Rebecca, thank you very much for this very nice and very comprehensive overview about the ongoing activities in Algeria. I was really astonished how much activities there are ongoing and how broad approach is to, let's say, provide, at the end of the day, green hydrogen with maybe a transition period through blue hydrogen. So thank you very much for that. And let's come back to a couple of questions later on, because first I would like to introduce Professor Ahmed Al-Salami. He's the beautiful gentleman down here on the other screen. And he's a professor at the University of Jordan in Amman. And he will give us an update about the hydrogen activities and hydrogen, let's say, roadmaps and activities in Jordan. So, Ahmed, thank you very much for being here, and thanks a lot for giving this lecture, and the floor is yours, and we are listening very much to your news.
Thank you very much, Professor Kaltschmidt, for this invitation. It is my pleasure to be together with you today and with our colleagues. In fact, I have some presentations about the green hydrogen in Jordan, and I would prefer to work with this presentation, which was a part of MENA fuel project, which was supported by BMZ in Germany. And we did this as a roadmap to know that what is the resources in Jordan and what is for the green hydrogen. It was like a cooperation between myself at the University of Jordan and National University College of Technology, which as I am now the dean of this university college. And this project was about to study the production of large quantities of synthetic fuels and the green feedstocks for industry. And we said that what is the potential in the MENA countries. And in fact, for this study, it was 3 countries were studied by the Wuppertal Institute in Germany, in addition to support from BMZ. And also I was a part of the study in Jordan. Therefore, I would like to present the results that we have. As you see that this is country study in the framework of MENA fuel projects. And the objective of the country study that we have recently is to analyze the readiness of Jordan to launch a competitive, comprehensive, and sustainable green hydrogen derivatives and synthetic fuel industry in the value chain. Also to analyze the infrastructure in the country, especially the industry structures, existing and the plan, and identify the gaps for creating a value chain around the green hydrogen, and to propose a framework for conditions for the development of an export-oriented green hydrogen and synthetic fuel in Jordan. So this is the team that we have, and this was the lead study together with some colleagues from Germany, from Wuppertal Institute, from also Morocco, and my team at the University of Jordan and National University College of Technology. And as we know that there is a high potential of hydrogen, and it is expected to have about 18% of energy demand in 2050, and the investments will be very high in the green hydrogen, and there is about 2.5 trillion market and the creation of about 30 million jobs by 2050. And Jordan is already using hydrogen and ammonia in the industrial sector. According to the strategic framework, Jordan, in cooperation with the Jordanian-German Energy Partnership and Dutch international cooperations, conducted recently studies and consultations which will serve to draft and elaborate the national roadmap on green hydrogen. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the Minister of Energy in Jordan, and as I understood from him, that the roadmap about green hydrogen, which will be a part of the energy strategy in Jordan, and this will be launched very soon. So we have like a national energy strategy in the country. We have also the Jordan Vision 2025, a future national roadmap on green hydrogen, which is currently the Minister of Energy is preparing such a roadmap. And we have sustainable development goals, international cooperation, in addition to the NDCs, which is nationally determined contributions. About NDCs in Jordan, the NDCs considers green hydrogen and highlighting Jordan enormous potential for electricity production especially from renewable energy. Currently, Jordan has the highest share of renewable energy per capita in the MENA countries. So about 30% of Jordanian electricity is coming from renewable energy resources, especially from solar and then from wind energy. A production of a green hydrogen for local and export market, a new socio-economic and environmental opportunities due to the decarbonization of energy supply, transport, and industry. And this is according to the NDCs from Ministry of Environment 2021. About renewable energy, renewable energy will represents 41% of the installed power mix in 2030, and renewable energy will generate 31% of the electricity in Jordan by 2030. And to be honest with you, we are now in 2023, and we reach these targets. So almost now 31% of the electricity in Jordan is coming from renewable energy. And therefore, the Minister of Energy is now reviewing the strategy to have like an ambitious target, which is expecting to be like 50% of the electricity to be from renewable energy by 2030. And National Energy Strategy is a dynamic document that will cover the green hydrogen. So this is the National Energy Strategy that which was launched in 2020, 3 years ago. I was a member in the committee that we also prepared this strategy. And as we see that in 2030, we should have like, this is like the share of the energy that we have. So as you see that the natural gas would be like 53%. Renewable energy, this is for electricity generation, would be 31%. But as I told you that currently we reach this target. So now we have about 31% of electricity from renewable energy. And therefore, the Minister of Energy is now updating the strategy, and the new strategy will have green hydrogen as a part of the energy strategy, and also the renewable energy part will be 50%. We have also oil shale, which is about 15%, and the products will be about 1%. About the infrastructures analysis in Jordan, yeah, this is what we did for this project. This is the map of Jordan, and we have like most of our solar energy projects are in the south, and even that we have many wind energy, and also in the south part, and in addition to the like middle and north part. So this is the solar map. As you see that the solar map is high, especially in south areas, in MENA area. So we have about 5.6 kilowatt per kilowatt peak in this area, and the yearly totals can arrive more than 2,000 kilowatt hour per square meters. And as we see that this is this map can show also the main, I think that locations for the wind energy. Also, this is like in the south where we have like the wind speed is high, like in Shobak and Rajef. We have like the projects of wind energy. And here about the large scale solar energy projects in Jordan, as I told you that most of them, they are concentrating in the south, and this is the company that and the area like close to Aqaba in the south, Al Guera in MENA, like Shams MENA. Also we have other also projects in the east part of Jordan, and especially where Al Mafraq and this about the network, power transmission network. This figure shows that the development also of the network, and since we have like 400 kV, 230 kV, and also 132 kV. This is about the network transmissions that available in Jordan. What about water desalination? When we are talking about hydrogen, we are talking green hydrogen, we are talking about renewable energy and about the water. So we have like, it is not desalination, it is like more treatment plant. So treatment plant we have also in, especially in Jordan Valley, Wadi Ma'in, we have also in like Al-Karama Dam, and currently we will have like very big desalination projects in Jordan. It will be in Aqaba in the south part, and it will also desalinate 300 million cubic meters of water from the Red Sea, and the water will be pumped to Amman and to the north part. So for green hydrogen, now yesterday during our discussion with the Minister of Energy, he said that he is now discussing with the Ministry of Water to have like a branch of desalinated water from the Red Sea to be utilized for a green hydrogen, because we are expecting to have the green hydrogen projects in the south part of Jordan, in the Aqaba mainly. And we have like a company from Australia. This company signed agreement with the Jordan government to have feasibility study for green hydrogen projects with a capacity of 4 gigawatts. It's like a huge project, and now they are currently conducting the feasibility study. About water pipeline, for water pipeline, as you see, Jordan has like DC well field in the south. It is in the with the border of Saudi Arabia. As you see this color, the white color, this is the DC pipeline. We have it like from the south at the border of Saudi Arabia, and it is like connected to the like north part till it reach to Amman. And this pipeline transfer every day 100 or in the year transfer 110 million cubic meter of water from the DC wells to Amman. Yeah, so for the new projects about water desalination from the Gulf of Aqaba, so the pipe will be very, very close to the DC pipe, and this pipe, the red one, which is about Aqaba Amman water conveyance projects. This is under development currently, will transfer 300 million cubic meters of desalinated water from Aqaba to the middle and north part of Jordan. And in order to avoid more costs, so this pipe will be very close to the DC pipe. So for green hydrogen, this is what the Minister of Energy told us. They are trying to have some water from the desalinated water in Aqaba and to build the green hydrogen projects in this area in the south part of Jordan. As we said, that contributions of renewable energy to power generation in Jordan, so this number is increasing day by day. So now, as I said, that it is more than 20%, reach about even that 30%. So about the gas infrastructures, because also you can produce hydrogen and pump this hydrogen in the gas pipeline. So we have the Jordan liquefied natural gas port in Aqaba. Jordan LNG port in Aqaba has started commercial operation in 2015, and the imported LNG gas from this platform does contribute to more than 87% of the electricity generation assured by natural gas in Jordan. So most of the electricity in Jordan is produced from the natural gas, and we were depending since 2015 on liquefied natural gas, which we imported through the Gulf of Aqaba. Since a few years, Jordan started to import gas from Mediterranean Sea, which is called noble gas. And now I think that the price of such gas is very, very feasible, and most of the gas now is coming from Mediterranean Sea. This port consists of LNG terminal and a floating storage and regasification unit. Also, we have a local gas pipeline, which is called Arish gas pipeline. This is about also operated since 2003, and is currently operated by the Egyptian East Gas Company. This is what is called Al Arish. Jordan is connected with Egypt, and before Arab Spring, Jordan got used to import gas from Egypt through this Al Arish gas pipeline, and Egypt currently provides Jordan with daily quantities ranging from 1 to 2 million cubic meters of natural gas, and thus Jordan depends on Egyptian gas for about 10%. So we said that about 87% from LNG and 10% from Al Arish or from Egyptian gas pipeline. Yeah, this also Arab gas pipeline, and this Arab gas pipeline, which came from Egypt to Aqaba, and then from Aqaba in Jordan goes to the north part of Jordan, and it is connected to the Rehab power plant. This is in very close to the north part of Jordan, to Mafraq city, and this supplies Aqaba power station and several other power plants in Jordan. And this about this Arab gas pipeline, it is expected it will have like green hydrogen projects in the regions, that this Arab gas pipeline will go to the Syria, and then from Syria to the Turkey, and from Turkey to the Europe. So this can connect Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Turkey, and other European countries. Yeah, and this is Arish gas pipeline. This is what we have. Also, we have a small wells in Jordan gas field, but the capacity is very small. It can like produce about 2-3% of our natural gas or our gas for our electricity power or electrical power generation. Both the gas field and associated networks are owned by NIPCO. NIPCO, this is national, or now this is by National Petroleum Company. So, and the last gas pipeline is which is called Noble gas pipeline, And this came from Mediterranean Sea through Palestine and also Israel. So the Noble gas pipeline has 65 kilometers to supply gas to Jordan from the Mediterranean Leviathan field. The National Electricity Company, NEPCO, has a contract with Noble Energy to have like 8.5 million cubic meters per day. And there is a minimum take or pay obligation set at 75% of the contractual value, equivalent to about 6.37 million cubic meters per day. NEPCO can request to increase supplies up to 9.9 million cubic meters per day. So this is like the gas pipeline, as we said, that the Arab gas pipeline, this is the white one, and the Noble, which came also from a west part from Jordan, from Mediterranean, this is the red color that we have. So as you see that we have the gas pipeline, we have the renewable energy projects in the south, and we have also the water desalination pipeline. Yeah. So about seaport infrastructures, we have in the Aqaba port, we have Aqaba container terminal, we have rock phosphate terminal and storage facility with a handling capacity of about 4 million tons to 6 million tons of rock phosphate per year. Industrial terminal for industrial liquids such as ammonia, fuel oil, sulfur acid, phosphoric acid, potash, fertilizers with annual capacity of 9 million ton. Liquefied petroleum gas terminal with an annual handling capacity of 4 million ton. Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmad LNG connected to Arab gas pipeline. Oil terminal with annual handling capacity of 20 million ton of crude oil, refined oil products, and miscellaneous chemical liquids. About the gap analysis infrastructures that we have, as we see that for renewable energy, current state, we have about 37% or 40% of total power mix and 20% contribution to electricity generation, with more than 2,400 megawatt at the end of 2021. Future developments, I think that this is according to the strategy, but should be also increased. Here it is 3,200 megawatt, but now we are almost reached this target. Therefore, the strategy will be also revised. What we have assets, we have abundance of renewable energy resources. Experiences also in BBB projects and in solar and wind energy projects, a qualified workforce, engineers, technicians, and supply of locally manufactured solar panels. We have like some factories in Jordan for solar panels. The challenges that we have for renewable energy, power transmission network, to have like a green corridor, to like upgrade the network, financing mechanism, local contents for renewable energy projects. About desalination, we have like several desalination and treatment projects, and we will have like the pipeline from Aqaba to Amman, and this will 300 million cubic meters per year, and now the project is under development. So we have also experiences in BBB projects and desalination projects, a qualified workforce. But the challenges that we have access to the seawater. So Gulf of Aqaba is very small, and land use pressure in Aqaba regions, because the city of Aqaba is very small city. Local contents for desalination projects. About power transmission lines, as we said that 400 kV network almost doubles in the last 5 years. And we have assets as the possibility of creating green hydrogen hubs close to the renewable energy resources. Challenges that we have, land use and exploitations for building power networks, financing mechanism for power transmission projects, local contents, engagement of a private sector in developing and operating power transmission network. About the storage, we have like experience in ammonia storage, assets, the use of salt caravans for storing green hydrogen gas, Challenges that financing mechanism for green hydrogen storage projects, engagement of private sectors in developing and operating green hydrogen and synthetic fuel projects. For hydrogen pipeline, as we said that current status, Jordan has a network of gas pipeline, as we mentioned that from Egypt, from Israel, from also Arab gas pipeline from south to the north to the border of Syria. Repurposing of gas pipeline to transport hydrogen. Challenges, financing mechanism for hydrogen pipelines, local contents for construction of hydrogen pipelines, engagement of private sectors also in developing and operating hydrogen pipelines. About research and development and innovation platform, we have several research and development parks. We have experience in international and regional R&D and innovation projects. We need to engage private sectors in R&D and mobilization of the required financing for R&D and innovation projects, in addition to industrialization of R&D innovations, results, and prototypes. Finally, about seaports, there we have like seaports of Aqaba, existence of Aqaba seaport with best class port infrastructures, and existence of heavy oil, industrial, and LNG terminals at the port of Aqaba. But as we mentioned that there is too much pressure on the land use in the region of Aqaba, and we need also some finance for hydrogen and engagement of private sector. So this is like mainly about the challenges that we have. I don't know if I still have time, Martin, I can go quickly to another part of the presentation.
Okay, and first of all, I would like to thank you very much because Rebecca Hills has to leave us in a couple of minutes. So maybe we can, let's say, come to a very brief, let's say, final round. First of all, I would like to thank both of you very much for this two excellent presentations about this very nice overview about the situation in, let's say, Algeria and in Jordan. I mean, with my eyes, with my view, I would understand that, let's say, Jordan is already a little bit further down the road towards a more green, let's say, energy system, which gives them a better pole position to, let's say, develop towards, let's say, a hydrogen provision hub. On the other hand side, I mean, with the financial resources in Algeria coming from oil and gas selling on the global market and the experience with the hydrocarbons, I mean, they also might have a good position to transfer this, let's say, the economy towards a more green society and a more green energy system. How do you see this, Rebecca, when you have still 2 minutes to make a statement about that? And maybe then, Ahmed, you can say a little bit how you see, let's say, the pathway, let's say, towards such a hydrogen hub as a, let's say, export country. So, Rebecca, how do you see it?
Thank you for the question, Martin. Yes, I think Algeria has very interesting advantages, but needs to go quick because if you know, we also see it in comparison with Jordan concerning development, deployment of renewable energies, and having acquired some experience in this field. It's just not the case yet. For Algeria is at the beginning of the road for renewables. So it must speed up considerably this development in order to be able to be in the position and gain experience also for green hydrogen. On the same time, the potential is higher. I mean, you see there is just a huge, incredibly huge surfaces where you can produce renewable electricity. And you do have infrastructure and you do have trained engineers. So yes, it's an important opportunity to seize for Algeria. They are in a good position, but really need to speed up, especially concerning their own energy transition from my very personal point of view. I found this really interesting also. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for this very interesting comparison also. Right? Two very different countries, but also some points where they come together.
Yeah, Ahmed, how you see the further development in the years to come for Jordan to become, let's say, an export hub, for example, for hydrogen? Do you see the chance over there?
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. Thank you also for this nice words. In fact, Jordan now is very close to the Saudi Arabia, and we'll have like Neom City, which is like in the border of the Jordan. This is like in the north part of Saudi Arabia. I think that maybe some of you hear about this Neom City, and it will be like also a green hydrogen production. So the Gulf of Aqaba in the south part of Jordan is very close to the Saudi Arabia border, and I think that will have like a huge cooperations. Now the many companies from international wars now they are doing feasibility study to produce green hydrogen in Jordan. And as I told you that the Australian company signed the agreement with Jordan governments to have feasibility study for 4 gigawatt projects of a green hydrogen, which is like a huge project. Currently, the Ministry of Energy updating the energy strategy, and the green hydrogen will be one essential part in this strategy. We have now even that at the university level and the education started to teach green hydrogen, started to also educate our engineers, our students with green hydrogen as a capacity building. And we have also on the national levels, many workshops, many movement about the green hydrogen, especially as like connected with the renewable energy. Because now in Jordan, as I told you, that we have the highest share of renewable energy per capita in the MENA countries, if we exclude hydropower, since we don't have hydropower and we don't have waters in Jordan. So Jordan is looking to be like an export hub, especially in the north or south. In the center, we have like the infrastructure, the gas pipeline, the water pipeline, and the renewable energy projects in the different regions. And we are expecting to be a hub and export hub in the regions for green hydrogen. So now green hydrogen is very, very well known on the national level, since now many engineers and universities started to teach also such a topic and to have capacity building in this field.
Okay, thank you very much. I now understand that Rebecca has to leave now. So I just would like to make a final round, but I understood that she has to leave. So thank you very much, of course, for you, Rebecca Hills, that you provide this, let's say, comprehensive information about Algeria. And then we, let's say, expect maybe next year or a year after next year that we get an update what is happening and how these different strategies, what you showed, are implemented and if they are developing. I mean, I was really astonished to hear from Ahmed that, let's say, the activities which we discussed 5 years ago, bye-bye, Rebecca, which we discussed 5 years ago, Ahmed, that you have now already 20% of renewables. I mean, this is an incredible fast development, what we have seen over there in your country.
Yeah, you know that for especially now, if we are talking about the share from the electricity generation, we reach almost 30%, 29% according to the last statistics. And now there is more pressures to have more renewables, and therefore maybe green hydrogen can absorb more renewables. And now we are working about the storage. So for renewable energy, yeah, Jordan is now has the highest in the regions with respect to the solar and wind energy. Per capita, yeah.
I mean, so at the end of the day, I mean, this would allow to compensate a little bit, let's say, the differences between the different Arabic countries, because I mean, sun is everywhere and fossil fuel resources are not everywhere. So therefore, this might be also an opportunity to, let's say, gain a little bit, let's say, income for countries which cannot export so much fossil fuels. Is that, do you see it like this in your country, or?
Yeah, do you know that Jordan was importing 97% of its energy from outside? And this was sometimes it was the energy bill was very high. And when we have the renewable energy law, I think that this was the main motivation for the renewable energy project. And Jordan, when you have the framework, when you have the regulations, so and yeah, because of such regulations, I have like solar PV panels on my roof, and is allowed for anyone to have it in Jordan. And I think that now the energy bill was reduced, and we reduced the importance of energy from outside, since we depend on our solar and wind in the country, and we are expecting to reach higher percentage in the next few years also.
Okay, and that's a quite interesting development. Okay, with this, I think we should come close slowly to an end with our webinar tonight. First of all, again, thank you very much to Rebecca Hills from GIZ in Algeria for this very nice presentation, and of course, to Professor Ahmed Al-Salaimi from University of Jordan in Amman about this very comprehensive view about the ongoing activities and about this, let's say, very interesting and very prosperous it is, and very, let's say, nice developments what you showed us from Jordan. So there is really a strong development what we can see in recent years, and if this development accelerates in the next couple of years, I think we really will see that, let's say, more renewables are used, and we can therefore reduce at least certainly or slowly the greenhouse gas emissions to, let's say, protect our global climate. With this, I would like to finalize our webinar tonight. And before I close, I just would like to mention that next week, same place, same time, we will have a country report from Chile about the ongoing activities there, because Porsche, for example, they have a, let's say, PTL production plant over there, and this PTL, this fuel is then most likely exported also to the global markets. This is one presentation what we will see. Then we will have a country report from Egypt, as I said, from our colleague from Al Shams University. Then we have a presentation from Morocco, which has unfortunately could not taken place today, because the person presenting the situation, the country report from Morocco, has to go to hospital with his daughter. And last but not least, we will have a short update about the PTL Lab from GIZ. And with this presentations, we will then terminate or finalize our webinar from this winter term. And this will be the last webinar in this row in this winter time. With this, thanks again, especially also to Felix Mendler and Wolfram Tuschewitsky to getting everything organized very nicely from the technical point of view and from the technical part, and Shokri Aslush for helping us to make this happen. And with this, I wish everybody a beautiful evening. Enjoy yourself. And I would very much appreciate to see you again next week, same place, same time. With this, bye-bye, arrivederci, guten Abend, and a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.